Hello students, welcome to the lecture series on VLSI design. So myself Meenakshi Dorse, Assistant Professor at Department of ECE, KLS VDIT, Haliyar. So we'll be dealing with the module 4. So these are the contents of the module 4. So we have two sections, one is subsystem design and FPGA based system. In subsystem design, we'll be dealing with a few architectural issues, switch logic, gate logic, parity generator, multiplexer, and programmable logic array. In FPGA-based systems, we'll be dealing with FPGA-based system design, digital design FPGAs, FPGA architecture, and physical design of FPGAs. So in this lecture, we'll be dealing only with a few architectural issues and switch logic. Switch logic, there are two types. One is pass transistor logic and transmission gate. But in this lecture, we will be covering only pass transistor logic. So we'll begin with architectural issues. So what are the architectural issues that we have to deal with? For example, consider you want to build a chip which is consisting of 500 transistors. Suppose assume you may take 2 months to design a chip. Suppose second case, you want to build an chip which consists of 500k transistors. 500k transistors, so more than the previous one. So obviously it will be taking more time to design a chip. So hence we can say that design time tends to rise exponentially with increased complexity. Design time will rise as the circuit complexity increases. So we must be adopting few guidelines or few design methods which will allow handling of complexity with reasonable amount of time. So these are the few guidelines we have to follow. So the first one is we have to define the requirements. Fine. So before you start with the design of any system, we have to define the specifications properly. And the second one is partition the overall architecture into appropriate subsystems. So we'll be having a huge system or a huge design or an architecture. So that huge system has to be divided into subsystems. For example, you can consider an ripple carry adder as a complex system, and this ripple carry adder can be divided into subsystems or sub-blocks like full adders. And these full adders can be further subdivided into half adder. And these half adder can be divided into an XOR gate and an AND gate. So these XOR and AND gates are referred as leaf cells. So this entire architecture from top level, it has to be divided till you approach leaf cells. So top down approach. Third one is we have to consider communication paths carefully in order to develop sensible interrelationships between the subsystem. So it means you have divided a complex design into sub-blocks or subsystems. So interconnection between these subsystems has to be done carefully. And the next guideline is you have to draw a floor plan of the entire system, like how and where you want to place those sub-blocks on a silicon chip. Next guideline is to aim for regular structures so that the design is largely a matter of replication. So when you start with the design of subsystems, you should aim to use regular structures so that these regular structures can be used for the design of some other subsystem. And the next guideline is we have to draw stick diagrams of these leaf cells of the subsystem. and convert those stick diagrams to layout, and then we have to thoroughly check whether we have satisfied the design rules on each cell, and then we have to simulate the subsystem to check for the performance. So these few guidelines we have to use so that we can overcome the architectural issues, so that we can meet the complex designs within reasonable amount of time. So before dealing with switch logic, so let us revise a few concepts. Fine. So as discussed in the previous modules, so we have two types of MOSFETs, that is enhancement and depletion mainly, and these further can be classified into N type and P types. So we'll be having four devices: N enhancement, N depletion, P enhancement, P depletion. Fine. So as you know, for NMOSs, for N devices, gate voltage and drain voltage has to be positive to turn on the MOSFET. Whereas for PMOS, gate voltage and drain voltage has to be negative to turn on this P device. So for NMOS, we apply positive voltage, hence threshold voltage is positive. For PMOS, we apply negative voltage at gate and drain, so threshold is negative. So these are the structure of those four devices: enhancement and depletion. So most of the VLSI design is performed using enhancement. So mainly we'll be concentrating on enhancement devices, which are normally off, and to turn on these devices, we have to apply sufficient voltage at gate terminal. Whereas depletion devices, they are normally on devices. So let's begin with switch logic. So we'll study how MOSFET can behave as a switch. So you can consider an analogy of water tap. Fine. So if you rotate this tap controlling clockwise or anti-clockwise, you can control the flow of water. So MOSFET behavior is also same as tap. So in tap, either there is flow of water or no flow of water. Same way MOSFET as a switch, in the sense either it can be an on switch or it can be an off switch. Fine. So if we apply certain voltage at a gate, sufficient voltage at gate, it may turn on, and for some cases it will be off. So MOSFET can be used as a switch, either closed switch or open switch. So we'll see when this NMOS will act as closed switch and when it acts as open, and same thing will do it for PMOS also. Fine. So as you know, MOSFET is 4 terminal, but this fourth terminal is shorted to source, or for time being you can neglect the fourth terminal. So gate, source and drain. Fine. So as discussed in the previous slide, voltage for NMOS is positive, gate voltage and drain voltage is positive. So we are applying positive voltage at NMOS. So this NMOS will turn on when you give gate equals to 1. And so gate equals to 1, T1 will be on, hence closed switch. So there is a closed path between source and drain. So if you pass 0 at source, 0 is available at drain. If you pass logic 1 at source, logic 1 is available at drain. Similarly, if you give gate as 0 for NMOS, this device will be off, so open switch. Irrespective of the input passed at source, since it is open switch, we will be getting high impedance as the output. So when VGS is greater than VTN, threshold for NMOS, when VGS is greater than VTN, NMOS is in on state. When VGS is less than VTN, NMOS is in off state. Similarly, for PMOS, we apply negative voltage at gate and drain, hence threshold is negative. Since you apply negative voltage at gate and drain, this P device will turn on when you give gate equals to 0. Gate 0, T1 on, closed switch, hence closed path between source and drain. Whatever input you pass at source, same thing will be obtained at drain. If gate equals to 1 for PMOS, it is in off state, hence open switch. Irrespective of input given at source, we will be getting output as high impedance because MOSFET is off, open switch. So conditions for PMOS can be listed as follows. If VGS is greater than threshold value, that is VTP, threshold for PMOS. If VGS is greater than threshold value, the device is in off state. And if VGS is less than threshold value, the device is in on state. You can observe these P equations are exactly opposite of N. So this P behavior is exactly dual of N. Fine. So next we'll be dealing with the pass transistor logic. Fine. So we have two pass transistors. One is NMOS, one is PMOS. So first we'll deal with NMOS, and then we'll go with P device. Fine. For NMOS transistor, either N or P pass transistor, will analyze the working by passing two logic values. One is logic 0 and one is logic 1. Fine. So as discussed in the previous slide, so NMOS on VGS greater than VT. It is off if less than VT. Let us assume threshold voltage is 0.7 and VD is 5 volt. Fine. We'll begin with the first case. So logic 0 is passed here in first case. So this logic 0 and logic 1 will be passed through source terminals. So case 1 is logic 0 transmission. So source is connected to logic 0 equivalent to 0 volt. And as you know, NMOS will turn on if you give logic 1. So logic 1 is connected to gate. Logic 1 equivalent to VDD equivalent to 5 volt. Fine. So what is VGS now? VGS is VG minus VS, that is gate voltage minus source voltage. Gate voltage is 5 volt, source voltage is 0. So 5 minus 0, VGS is 5. So VGS is 5, VT is 0.7. So you can observe VGS is greater than threshold value. So if VGS is greater than threshold, then MOSFET is in on state. So VGS is greater than VT here, so MOSFET is on. On means closed switch between source and drain. Source is at 0 volt, hence drain will be at 0 volt. So we say NMOS passes a strong 0 or a perfect 0. So you are sending logic 0 through source, you are getting logic 0 through drain. That is complete 0 volt you are getting here. So NMOS is good at transferring logic 0, or it passes a strong 0 or a perfect 0. Second case, logic 1 transmission. So source will be at logic 1 now. Logic 1 is equivalent to 5 volt. And as you know, NMOS turns on when you give logic 1 at gate. Logic 1 equivalent to VDD and it is equivalent to 5 volt. So what is VGS now? Gate is at 5, source is at 5. So VGS is 0. VGS is 0, VT is 0.7. Fine. VGS is 0, VT is 0.7. So VGS greater than VT, this condition will fail. So if VGS is greater than VT, only then it is on. If this condition fails, then it is off. So 0 is not greater than 0.7, hence MOSFET is off. So when you try to transfer logic 1 through NMOS, logic 1 through NMOS, this MOSFET will turn off. Hence we say NMOS passes a weak one or a degraded one. Fine. So complete 5 volt at least it cannot transfer. So we'll see what portion of 5 volt can be transferred. Fine. Same case to only logic 1, but instead of applying 5 volt directly, I'll apply a logic 1 pulse here. Fine. So this is nothing but logic 1, varying from 0 to 5. Fine. So initially let's assume source is at 0. Fine. As you know, gate will be at logic 1 only for NMOS. For NMOS, gate is at logic 1 here. Fine. So all gates are at logic 1, that is 5 volt. So first case we'll consider source is at 0. Gate is at 5. So VGS, gate minus source, 5 minus 0, 5 volt. So VGS is 5, greater than 0.7, that is threshold, MOSFET on. So source value transferred to drain. So drain is at 0 volt. So next case, consider source to be 4 volt. Gate is 5 volt as you know. Gate is at 5. Source is at 4. So 5 minus 4. VGS is 1 volt. VGS 1 volt greater than VT, that is 0.7. So MOSFET is on. So source value 4 volt transferred to drain. So drain is at 4 volt. So 0 to 4 volt, all these intermediate values will be passed because VGS is greater than VT for all these cases. When source is at 4.3, as you know, gate will be at 5 volt. So 5 minus 4.3 is 0.7. VGS is 0.7. So VGS is exactly equal to threshold. So even if it is exactly equal to threshold, the MOSFET will be in on state. Hence the source value, that is 4.3, is transferred to drain. So now what happens when my source approaches to 4.4 volt? Fine. So 0 to 4.3 MOSFET is on because VGS is greater than threshold value. When my source approaches 4.4 volt, as you know, gate is 5, 5 minus 4.4, VGS is 0.6. VGS is 0.6. 0.6 is less than threshold value, so MOSFET is off. So even for 5 volt, when source is at 5, VGS is 0. 0 is less than threshold value. Less than threshold means device is off. So 4.4 to 5, these MOSFETs are in off state because VGS is less than VT. Fine. So for this NMOS pass transistor, when you transfer logic 0, that is 0 volt from source terminal, you'll get a strong 0. That is, you'll be getting perfect 0 volt at the output terminal. But if you try to transfer 5 volt through logic 1, fine, very in this second case, when you try to transfer 5 volt, this device will turn off. Fine. So when you try to transfer 5 volt, 0 to 4.3 it is on. From 4.4 to 5 it is off. 0 to 4.3 MOSFET is on. So it is completely transferred. 4.3 to 5 is off. So this is not available at a drain. So we have a loss of 0.7 volts and this loss is nothing but a threshold value. So when you try to transfer 5 volt across a NMOS device, the maximum voltage that we get at drain is VDD minus threshold value. As you know, VDD is considered as 5 minus 0.7. So maximum we'll get is 4.3. So when you try to transfer logic 1 through NMOS, that is 5 volt through NMOS, it will pass a degraded logic 1, degraded by threshold value. Fine. So maximum will be getting is VDD minus VT. So as discussed, NMOS can pass logic 0 perfectly, whereas it cannot pass logic 1. So next pass transistor is PMOS. So VGS less than VT means PMOS will be in on state. If it is greater than VT, it is in off state. And the threshold voltage for PMOS is negative. So let us consider it as minus 0.7. So again two cases. One is logic 1 transmission and one is logic 0. So first case, transmission of logic 1. So as you know, these P devices will turn on if gate is at logic 0. Fine. Like for NMOS, gate was fixed at logic 1 because NMOS turns on for logic 1. For PMOS, it is logic 0. Gate at logic 0 equivalent to 0 volt. You are transmitting logic 1 here in first case. So source is at logic 1 equivalent to 5 volt. So what is VGS? Gate is 0, source is 5 volt, VGS is minus 5. So minus 5 is less than threshold value, minus 0.7. Fine. So condition satisfied. So T1 is on. Since T1 is on, there is a closed path between source and drain. So source is at 5 volt, drain is at 5 volt. So in P device, if you transmit logic 1 through PMOS, you get a perfect 5 volt here. So we say it can pass strong 1. Whereas in NMOS, we cannot pass logic 1 there. It passes degraded 1. Whereas PMOS, we can pass a perfect 1. So we'll consider second case for PMOS, that is transmission of logic 0 across source terminal. So source is at logic 0 equivalent to 0 volt, and as you know, gate of PMOS has to be tied to logic 0, that is 0 volt. So what is VGS? Gate is at 0, source is at 0, so VGS is 0. So 0 less than minus 0.7, condition fails. So 0 is not less than minus 0.7. Hence this MOSFET is off. So when you transfer logic 0 through PMOS, this MOSFET will turn off. Fine. So hence we say it passes weak 0. Fine. So as discussed in the previous slide, you know NMOS cannot pass perfect 1. Fine. Complete 5 volt at least it cannot transfer. So when you transfer logic 1, maximum will be getting is VDD minus VT. Similarly, PMOS can transfer logic 1 perfectly. Whereas if you try to transfer logic 0, the device will automatically turn off. So we'll see what is the maximum output you get when you transfer logic 0 at source terminal. You already know that when you try to transfer it is completely off, but we'll try to determine what is the output voltage at drain you get when you transfer 0 volt at its source. Fine. So as you know, PMOS gates will be at logic 0 equivalent to 0 volt. So first case for source, we'll consider it to be 5 volt. So gate is at 0, source is at 5. So VGS is minus 5. So VGS minus 5 is less than threshold, minus 0.7. So if it is less than threshold, PMOS is on. So since PMOS is on, source value is passed to drain. So drain is at 5 volt. So next case, we'll consider source to be at 3 volt. So gate is at 0, source is at 3. So what is VGS? Minus 3, 0 minus 3. So VGS is -3. -3 is less than threshold value, -0.7, condition true. So drain is equal to source value, that is 3 volt. Fine. So when source approaches 0.7, fine. When source is at 0.7, as you know, gate is at 0. So VGS is -0.7, and it is now exactly equal to threshold value of PMOS. Fine. So exactly equal to threshold value also, the MOSFET will be in on state. Since it is on, source value, that is 0.7, is transferred to drain. Fine. So 5 volt to 0.7 volt, this PMOS will be in off state. From 5 volt to 0.7, PMOS will be in on state. So whatever values you give at source, that will be transferred at drain terminal. Fine. But when source approaches 0.6, what will happen? So when source is at 0.6, as you know, gate is at 0. So VGS is 0 minus 0.6, that is minus 0.6. So VGS minus 0.6, it is not less than threshold. Fine. See, if VGS is less than threshold, only then it is on. If this condition fails, off. So minus 0.6 is not less than threshold value, hence MOSFET is in off state. So similarly, if you consider source to be 0 volt, as you already know, gate is at 0. So VGS is 0, 0 less than threshold value, 0 less than minus 0.7, no, condition fails. So MOSFET is off. So from 0.6 to 0 volt, P MOSFET is completely off. Whereas from 5 to 0.7, it is on. So what is the degraded value? What is the loss? That is 0.7 VTP. Fine. So for P device, if you transfer logic 0, the maximum will be getting is minus VTP. Mod of VTP indicates it is negative. Fine. Like for NMOS, if you transfer logic 1, maximum will be getting is VDD minus VT. For NMOS, if you transfer logic 1, that is 5 volt. If you try to transfer 5 volt, maximum will be getting is VDD minus VT. Similarly for PMOS, if you try to transfer logic 0, maximum output voltage will be getting is minus 0.7. You need 0 volt, but you are getting minus 0.7, less than the required amount. So we say P passes weak 0. But when you try to transfer logic 1 through PMOS, it can pass complete 5 volt. So it passes strong 1. So NMOS passes strong 0. PMOS passes strong 1. So both logic levels cannot be transferred by N and P. So this is the drawback of this pass transistor logic. Fine. So this is about pass transistor. So NMOS can pass strong 0, whereas PMOS can pass strong 1. Fine. So both logic levels cannot be transferred by these N and P. So these are the drawbacks of a pass transistor. We'll try to overcome these drawbacks using a transmission gate logic. Thank you for watching.